They tell you South America is all beaches, jungles, and cheap thrills. But what they don't tell you is how much this place has fought to survive. Behind every postcard is a story of revolution, corruption, resilience, and rebirth. This continent didn't just change, it transformed so fast most of us missed it. This isn't just another travel video, we're going to walk through 30 years of raw, unfiltered South American history, from the chaos of collapsing dictatorships, to the rise of modern megacities, and the silent revolutions happening in tiny mountain villages. This journey goes beyond tourist spots. We're diving deep into how countries like Colombia, Brazil, Chile, and Argentina became what they are today, and what most travelers never realize when they visit. So buckle in, because this isn't a vacation. This is 3 decades of struggle, identity, and transformation across an entire continent. Here's the thing. Most people who visit South America only see what's on the surface. Beautiful landscapes, ancient ruins, colorful street art, great food. But if you ask the people who actually live there, or anyone who's traveled deeper than just the capital cities, you'll hear a completely different story. Let's head to Brazil. In the 2000s, Brazil was booming. They were one of the BRICS, emerging economies expected to dominate the 21st century. Under President Lula da Silva, poverty dropped dramatically. Millions joined the middle class. The favelas, those crowded, often dangerous hillside neighborhoods, saw real investment. And then, it all started falling apart. Corruption scandals, economic recession, protests in the streets. The 2014 World Cup and 2016 Olympics brought global attention, but many Brazilians were furious. Billions were spent on stadiums while hospitals crumbled and schools fell apart. Still, Brazil is a cultural force. From Rio's carnival to the Amazon rainforest, it's impossible not to feel its pulse. But again, what tourists see and what locals live are 2 different stories. Visit Salvador and Bahia, and you'll find Afro-Brazilian culture thriving. Music, food, religion like candomblé, all rooted in resistance. Travel to the Pantanal, and you'll see the fight to protect nature is far from over. In 2019, Chile exploded, but not with bombs or bullets. With subway turnstiles. It started as a protest against a fare hike, but it quickly became a full-blown movement. People were tired of inequality. The richest 1% held over a quarter of the wealth. Students, pensioners, workers, all hit the streets. What followed was massive. Statues toppled. Tear gas filled downtown Santiago. But through it all, something powerful happened. Chile voted to rewrite its constitution. The same one written during Pinochet's dictatorship. This wasn't just about subway fares. It was about dignity. 30 years after dictatorship, people wanted real change. Venezuela once had the largest oil reserves in the world. In the early 2000s, Hugo Chavez rose to power with a bold promise. Use that oil money to lift up the poor. For a while it worked. Free healthcare, free education, subsidized food. But then came the crash. The price of oil plummeted. Corruption ran wild. Industries were nationalized, then neglected. By the 2010s, inflation was so bad that bread cost more than most people made in a month. Entire families fled the country. By the late 2010s, over 7 million Venezuelans had left, one of the biggest mass migrations in modern history. Travelers crossing into Colombia saw it firsthand. Kids begging on street corners, mothers walking with babies strapped to their backs trying to reach Ecuador, Peru, even Argentina. Inside Venezuela, those who stayed lived with daily blackouts, no medicine, and military checkpoints everywhere. And yet, even here, life somehow goes on. Locals in Caracas throw underground parties. Artists paint resistance on alley walls. Food vendors still set up shop on cracked sidewalks. Because in South America, survival is the culture. Through all the political and economic chaos, one thread has quietly grown stronger than ever: indigenous identity. From the Mapuche in southern Chile and Argentina, to the Quechua in Peru and Bolivia, indigenous peoples have reclaimed their languages, their lands, and their pride. In Ecuador, the Quechua movement pushed for environmental protection against oil drilling in the Amazon. In Colombia, the Wayuu defended their water rights against foreign mining companies. In Brazil, indigenous leaders marched to Brasilia to protest deforestation in their ancestral lands. For decades, these voices were silenced, erased, or forced into the margins. But the last 30 years have seen a renaissance. Now, travelers are encouraged to learn about traditional weaving in Otavalo, Ecuador, to explore sacred Wari ruins in Peru, to visit indigenous-run eco-lodges deep in the Bolivian jungle. But the most important shift? These cultures aren't just something for tourists to admire. They're living, evolving forces in the fight for climate justice, equality, and cultural survival. Let's talk travel. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, most foreigners came to South America for cheap thrills and adventure. Backpackers hopped from Machu Picchu to Patagonia, clutching guidebooks and dodging scams. Today, travel looks very different. Ecotourism has exploded. Community-based travel is growing. People are staying longer, learning Spanish or Portuguese, volunteering, and actually listening to local voices. There's a growing awareness that these aren't just Instagram backdrops, they're homes, histories, places filled with real people who've been through more than most visitors can imagine. Places like Valparaiso, Chile, where crumbling port buildings are covered in murals that tell stories of exile and rebirth. La Paz, Bolivia, where the world's highest urban cable car offers surreal views and was built to connect the wealthy valley to the poor hills. Cali, Colombia, once a cartel stronghold, now pulsing with Afro-Colombian dance, salsa, and community-led resilience. The sacred valley of Peru, where Quechua farmers blend ancient farming techniques with modern activism to protect their water. In short, travel isn't just about seeing anymore, it's about understanding. We can't talk about South America's transformation without facing the ecological elephant in the room, the Amazon. Spanning across Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, and Bolivia, this jungle isn't just a tourist attraction, it's the lungs of the earth, and right now, it's under siege. Deforestation has skyrocketed in the last 3 decades. Cattle ranching, illegal logging, soy farming, oil drilling, it's all carving up the forest at alarming rates. Indigenous communities are fighting back, often risking their lives. Environmental activists have been murdered, tribal leaders threatened, but they keep speaking out. What does this mean for travelers? Increasingly, it means choosing wisely, supporting eco-lodges that are indigenous-owned, saying no to tours that exploit nature, learning the truth about who benefits from your visit, because as the Amazon goes, so goes the world. There's one thing that's changed South America more than any what it means to be Latino or Indigenous or Brazilian in a globalized world. So here we are, 30 years after dictatorships, drug wars, and collapses, South America isn't just surviving, it's evolving in ways the world should be paying attention to. It's a place where resistance is painted on walls, where the poorest communities build the richest cultures, where nature and humanity are still locked in a fight that could decide our planet's fate. You can't sum up South America in one word. It's too complex, too emotional, too alive. But if there's one lesson to take from this journey, it's that transformation doesn't come easy. It takes generations, it leaves scars, but it also builds something deeper, resilience. If you're planning to visit South America, go deeper. Don't just follow the hostel trail, talk to the vendors, visit the barrios, learn the history, learn the names. Understand that every bus ride, every hike, every beach is built on centuries of blood, sweat, and survival. This place will change you if you let it. If you enjoy our journey, please like and subscribe to our channel, and if you like our content and want to support me, you are welcome to buy me a coffee. The link is in the description box below.